Hey, hey.
Welcome everyone. This is Nichel Anderson, and this is my podcast shows. I'm going to broadcast this on both of my shows, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, and my Surviving Your Journey to a Success. This is part of my journey. This is part of my writing that I love to do, and my project that I feel, particularly now, that it has evolved to something extraordinary, and I want to share it with you because this is leading up to when it's going to be re-released, and I wanted to focus on the main core elements of my NFTs collection to kind of break that down. I'm going to talk about some symbols, what that represents, and talk about where you can go and get some more information about this ecosystem that I built a couple years ago, and now it has complete the loop in the sense of I'm relaunching it definitely on, I like to say, on my mentor that I love in history, Dr. W.E.B Du Bois. His work on his birthday, it would be February the 23rd. And I wanted to kind of really get into my collection, to get into the meat and potatoes. And then I will do another follow-up where I really talk about the symbols, how you can decode it and all of that. So let's go ahead and get started. In this day, I just want to say a quick prayer. Thank you so much, God, for all you have blessed me with my podcast shows and for the mission that you presented to me to be a part of this collective, this timeline. I give all praise. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to move on and get started. I want to first talk about where you can get the information of my PMTR NFTs collection. On all my websites, MOLIAE.com, MOLIAEworld.com, you can find my manifesto, my white paper on my PMTR NFTs collection that will go into detail about my whole ecosystem that I'm creating. Pivots towards the PMTR. That's basically started out as I thought of combining my writing, which is from my book, and my dream, if you've been following me for a while, is always to make my book into a feature film. And then I expanded that into podcasting. And I wanted to also have a podcast where I can, help people directly like I did on Twitter with my quotes. And then that's how I made that podcast, Surviving Your Journey to a Success. And then I was spiritually inclined. My soul family wanted me to do something for me because I'm always doing, a lot of things for other people all the time. And this for me and for my dream. And that is to keep that going. And that's when I started the short stories, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, and that's tied to the Egypt, okay? And that's where we at with the PMTR. So basically, going to our website, it's a blog post that I just released at this time of this recording. You will see the most recent. You can take that out, and it's very detailed, and I'm going to add more to it. You can also download it if you want. I have a direct link to read the full report, and I will be adding to that. So that's where you would go in the sense of following it, understanding it. I'm going to have additional links to go further, deeper into a certain section because I talk about my music, I talk about the book, I talk about PMTRs. I'm going to be eventually talk about the characters there. So I'm going to really make that like a encyclopedia pretty much, and the blueprint. So the next thing is to talk about PMTR. And I'm just going to talk about it. If you're just now joining me or you've been following me a while, you might already know this part, but I just wanted to make this part of the segment. PMTR stands for Pyramid Mystery Temple Reunion. My idea of this NFT collection was to have a focus on pyramids, how powerful they are, how intuitive they are, how we use it for so many different things, and how it appeared in so many ancient texts. And so I focus on that, and that's how I got the Mystery Temple Reunion, because I'm an author and writer, and it gets the adventure into that. What's the mystery? The mystery is that these particular pyramids, they're like dark energy, but they are projected for us to see through our eyes in this reality in the shape of a pyramid or an A with a line underneath it. With that is 10,000 pyramids, and each of the pyramids have symbols. I'm going to go into that. I haven't really released that in detail, and this is the moment I'm going to do that. And they also have a serial number. With these elements to my collection, it makes it different and unique because it changes by each holder of the NFT. So if you mint an NFT on the 23rd, and of course thereafter, okay, if you listen to this after the 23rd, your NFT is going to be a living entity type organism. I will release a blog article about that specifically, and that will be found on my two main websites, MOLIAE.com and MOLIAEworld.com. Go to the blog, you will see it about the living NFT. It talks about all the other expansion of MOLIAE just from writing my book and getting to this point. So the Pyramid Mystery Temple Reunion is 10,000 pyramids. They do have top leaders, the top 10, the top 12, and so forth. And then the whole class of a body of it was going to their reunion. The story of this is on MOLIAEworld.com homepage. I might not get into that as I'm looking at the time because I want it to be short, but do check that out. It goes more in detail of their story. So basically with that, I'm going to have short stories because these are characters, and that's going to connect to my podcast show, the MOLIAE short stories, that I like to say I make it infamous there, and it's all going to be connected. It's a particular timeline with these pyramids in the beginning of time before man on earth or Tamat, and these pyramids are traveling just to catch up, like we do our class reunions or college reunions, what have you, and they get there and they realize that their swords are missing. So sword in scripture and spirituality means not only the warfare of God, it also connected to truth, communication, divinity, and these swords has power. There's in what I call surfboards, right? A few pyramids do not have one, like it's another type of element that I'm going to describe, but most of them for the most part do have swords, and those are the ones that are missing. And so the ones that don't have the surfboard, it's basically like a high-tech suitcase. It's another way that they was having their swords shipped. There are going to be a segment where I'm going to break down the swords. The top one are the HUJTA, that's HUJTA. There are others as well. I'm going to bring that into the story. It does already connect this PMTR to my MOLIAE short stories. Actually, it connects to the podcast episode. I'm going to go ahead and share that now. That's MOLIAE Future Series of Nahor and Princess Aamina. The commune of leadership bestows upon a future Mitsrayim queen. Bonus number 6 was released November 18, 2019. I do highly recommend you check that out. This is way before, like 1 or 2 years, maybe 3 years, before I even decided to do an NFT. It was really big and everything, and I loved the concept, and I went with it, and I felt I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to go for it. Then I got into my music, and then of course the hype kind of like settled down, but it was a reason for it, and look where I'm at now. So I kept going, and when I was able to focus back on it, here I am, 2025, 2026, and I'm relaunching it. And even though it was kind of like here and there, the concept is still good, because the NFT is where you get a receipt on the blockchain of a particular art, where my art of pyramids are more than just artwork. It's a living organism, as I said before. It's a part of my brand. It's a part of my heritage. It's a part of my destiny. It's all going to fuel and help me to fund my dream to make my book, Mitsrayim, a memoir of a past life in ancient Egypt, into a feature film. Also, it's going to help to create a community of understanding and defining your destiny if you choose to be a holder. I ask that you will admit one on Monday. Come on. So I'm going to also release an EP music for my PMTR. So I'm basically creating things as we move into now as the DTC movement, that I believe that was the code, that was the message from Dr. W.E.B Du Bois. Y'all, you know how I do. I like history, and I like to loop everything into a 360, because I don't like to waste people's time, and I like to give and also receive. That's the 360 in the name of the Lord. So as we look at my PMTR NFTs collection, I'm also going to have a cartoon series. I already started one, which was basically on the MOLIAE short stories from my book at an earlier time period, like before the time of Princess Aamina, where I'm going to have a PMTR cartoon series as well as the short stories I'm going to roll out, still under the umbrella of MOLIAE short stories. That's my brand. It's just expanding, and I'm going to release music, all right? Hopefully my goal is by the time this is aired that I have like a snippet of it, and then I'll announce when I'm going to release the actual EP, which is going to be, another album underneath my music identity and career. And let's see. Oh, and I did talk about the uniqueness of my NFT collection. Once you get it, you know the symbols, or at least I'm going to have a key for you to understand the symbols. And then you can uniquely find out about not only who you are, who your journey, but based on your date of birth, based on the time, if you know it when you was born, based on the shape's position, based on what symbols that you have, based on the serial number. I'm going to have a key breakdown. It can reveal your current, what's going on in your journey, what's going on before, almost like a future telling in a way, but it's based on numbers. It's based on the astrology of what my astrology that I'm using to decode it and to help you with it. When you get an NFT of mine's, PMTR, on that website, mint.molieworld.com, you can download the book. And right now, if you do download it, that was when I initially created it. Well, I have decided to create a database because, I don't know, I'm detailed. It's going to be even more detailed. So right now, I'm currently creating the Oracle Decode book of my PMTR. And that goal is to eventually turn that into a web tool. Right now, it would be through Excel. If you're a holder, you would get access to this Excel document to key in your date of birth, to key in your serial number of your NFT, and to be able to get that information of, it can help you to plan future events of what you're looking for based on the astrological position of the planets currently. So that means today, or that means tomorrow, that means whenever you're looking at it. So it's not like a stagnant NFT. My PMTR, the benefit of the value is that it changes based on each holder, date of birth and time of date of birth. Those are the seeds. Then it branches out based on the NFT that you own. Then based on those symbols and current time that you're looking for, it creates new data information of what you want to know, what's incoming from you. It's going to be a vast data system that I want to create. Initially, you will get a key for what you have to kind of get you an idea and get you that information, but I'm basically expanding it based on my own numerology and astrology, of course tradition as well, and numbers is in the Bible, so it will be connected to scripture, all right, as well. So it's going to be something that when you hold it, it's like a diamond, okay, increases over time the value, all right. So then we're going to move on to next, the symbols, and I want to kind of talk about the symbols. I'm going to have another episode about it, but let's just go through it. It's a total of 9 initially, but then also it's 2 additional ones. And that's with the position of the symbol matters, and then the color matter. So in ancient Egypt, where they positioned the pyramids, come on now, and the colors itself has vibration. Once you understand that everything is energy, this is going to make even more sense to you and easy. Okay, this is going to be easy to interpret, initially, and then it can get very intuitive, and that's where my team can help. So when you do mint on February 23rd, you can download the book. If you have any questions, the second thing I ask you is to join our Discord. It will be a particular form, particularly for the decoding of your NFT. So we're here to support you. Or you can go to MOLIAE.com and you can sign up there on our forum. Whatever, we're here to help you to code it. If it's just that moment, maybe you want to come back and it's a new day. That's a new revelation. That's new data. Time moves forward. So does my NFT. Come on. So the first one is the portal. That's the doorway. I have shapes as the second symbol. Third is the surfboard. That in itself is a whole different episode. Then I have the rings of a knot of Egypt. Then I have eyes, and then I have the background, which is holding on the color mainly. And then we have the royal crown. The royal crown is going to show either just eyes, which is the pyramid of thought, or it's going to show a lion face, or it's going to show an elephant. I love elephants. Or it's going to show an eagle. All of those are symbols and it means something, but that's the visual face that I saw when I started creating my collection. The next one is serial numbers. They're going to be a total of 10. 2 of them are the same numbers. I just realized that. But then I looked back at it, I said something different about it, and sure enough, they do have 2 different colors, and that will be broke down and decoded. And then it's the main image, which is a pyramid, and it is a pixel. That in itself opens up a whole other different realm of numbers. You see how we keep coming back to numbers? So I wanted to cover that. And then the serial numbers, I was kind of going to go through that, but I'm going to wait to do a separate podcast show of that, because I'm not sure I need to go ahead and go in it. But basically you'll see there are 4 numbers. Like the first one I just show you, it just shares 8081, and then it's going to have NMM. And then it has the color, then it has the sun disk, a raw behind it. So those are the serial numbers. That's 1 out of the 10. And like I said, out of the 10, 2 of them are the same, but the colors are different. One of them have the color, I'm calling it moonlight brown. The other one is of spew of the desert. And then it has NMM. That's Nichel, MOLIAE, Mitsrayim. Come on. So that ties into my music, that ties into my creativity and all of that. So I'm looking at my notes and it's a lot, and I'm looking at the time, and I do not want this to be long. I will have a second podcast show that I will be going over this. And I think I did mention about the comic series. It also would be a storyline that I'm going to reveal, and I think I said that as well, but just to kind of recap on that, and it'll be under the MOLIAE short stories umbrella. And with this storyline, I'm going to go into because some of these pyramids are married, some of them have children. And in my Twitter post 1 or 2 years ago now, I introduced 2 boys that are the children of these pyramids. And I want to back up and to kind of talk a little bit about the storyline with the swords. The swords are the mystery, an added benefit. So number 1, you have a unique collection that is based on your date of birth and time. It's going to change through each holder. That's the takeaway. That's the value. That's the investment. That's the return of investment. Number 2, it is the music. I'm going to up that to number 2 position. The music that I'm going to create is a new music EP. My second album is going to be focused only on this PMTR collection. So that in itself gives it more lore, value, more longevity, right? And the third thing is the story. The storyline I'm creating is the first, and I'm expanding it. It connects to all my other stories and my book that I want to be a film. That's why I'm here in Atlanta. Come on. The storyline itself, let's talk about that right quick, is the swords. That's the mystery. So to me, that's point number 4. The swords is the mystery to find out who took the HUJTA swords. There are a collection of swords. So that's another universe that I haven't even tapped into. The swords have value. They have rank. The pyramids are the 10,000. They have rank. As I say, the first 10, then the first 12, then the 24. It's almost like Dr W.E.B Du Bois when he created the talent of 10th. Come on. Most of these images of what colors are sets of 10. When we get to the shapes, we go up to 12. 12 is a powerful number of God, and I got it in my collection. Number 5, I want to say, we might go back to the HUJTA swords, is where I'm leaping from that of it's going to be a vote. I talk about this in my story on MOLIAEworld.com about this, and on my Twitter of MOLIAE World, and I'm calling it the Legends of Lions. Those would be the initial warriors to go find the swords that are missing from the surfboards and to find out who took it and why. Their suspect is one of the NFTs. This is the big one, the nugget, okay? Which one of the 10,000, come on, of my PMTR NFTs planned, got it done, and took the swords? These swords are very spiritual. They are very powerful. One of them, or 2 of them, was given to a future king named, come on, what's his name? Come on, King Milan. Who is King Milan? He is the father of Princess Aamina. That is of my book, Princess Aamina is me, aka Nichel MOLIAE. Come on. And it's in that episode that I came up with to do the series, and I felt to write about that moment, and I talked about the swords. But see, that's why the memories come back. I didn't really connect why. I just knew I had to put it in that episode, and here we are. It's coming back, and it's showing me this is part of the history. So he's supposed to get at least 2 of those swords, and here we understanding that it was given to him by these entities that are pyramids, okay? And so the lions, under the lion pyramid, he gets his generation to go and find it. So those are the first warriors. It will go all the way down, and it will end up Nichel, me, Princess Aamina, aka, becomes the very first warrior, and to whatever that is called to do of that time. And that leads to the game, the MOLIAE PMTR game. I want to bring that up. And that is where you play to win, to see who's going to be the next MOLIAE warrior to find these swords. Let's say I haven't got deep into it, that somehow whatever, some more swords of the class of HUJTA is missing. And that's the goal of the game, that you can rise. You can have a team, or you can be by yourself. That right there is what I'm working on to release. So MOLIAE World is that. It is a world of what I'm creating, an ecosystem that I want to put in the plug, that I have plans to create my very first token that is going to be able to, right, be able to purchase merchandise in my ecosystem from MOLIAE Beauty. That is my skincare line, self-care for men and women, for the bath, for your body back in ancient times, because I know kings and queens. Come on. And you can purchase with the MOLIAE token merchandise on MOLIAE World, merchandise on MOLIAE.com, merchandise on MOLIAE World, merchandise on my Golden Power Creative Production. That's my goal, is to film full time. That's my dream, to do my book, but also to create other programming that is ordained by God, of the stories that needs to be told, of the history of Black folks or the history of this planet, by wherever you are. I want to do that. Whatever culture, whatever, you know what I'm saying? From Japan to Canada to Mexico to Brazil. I got so many stories, y'all. This right here, the NFTs, is my seed and the soul of my purpose to be able to move forward. I just need the funding, and this is what it is, and this is what I've created. Come on, okay? I'm going to have another podcast show to go over this because it's deep, and I have a lot of things that's going to roll out, but this is what I have going into this powerful weekend, this powerful, beautiful celebration of Dr. W.E.B Du Bois' birthday, and the release of my PMTR collection and what's coming, which that Legends of Lions, I decided then, and I still do, I want to make it like a 3D collection, and it's going to be 5,000. I didn't want it to be 10,000. I want it to be 5,000, and that right there is going to be spiritual. I always felt, just to tell you this, lions was always at the beginning of time, the beginning of existence, and their history and their divinity is so powerful. When we connect Jesus with the Lion of Judah, or we connect Jesus with the lions, what have you, as well, in different texts. So anyhow, I wanted to go over this. If you have any questions, email info@molie.com, and I hope you do decide to invest in the PMTR collection, join the Discord or the MOLIAE forum, and guess what, y'all? I'll talk to y'all in the next one.
You can say his name is Jesus, here's the new game, the source I am. For reality, I run this gold bills of notoriety. We gotta bring it, cause we came from Mars. We rise for the crown, plus we got all the bars. I'm the emperor of MOLIAE, I know who I are.
Was born with my purpose, birthright. MOLIAE Kismet of world dynasties. MOLIAE Kismet of world destinies. Get your own success if you're blessed without calm my chest. I never rest because I am the best. In this world of my purpose, my choices defeated all the rest. Jesus said, here you are, Queen Empress. Now I grant here my besties. They are Emperor, Kings. From Mars, Atlantis, ATL, here we are, here we are, here we are. Getting it, we are gold, we don't mold, we hold. We are the new renaissance of MOLIAE Kismet. Who am I? Remember the times, can't wait till we live in the MOLIAE world. That we are no longer critique. Oh wait, it's now MOLIAE world.
Hey, she's bringing our glory. Imhotep, we wait, we bait. No more waiting for our destinies. No more gatekeeps. We step up on those that held us back. Now you laugh. We shine back like ancient Egyptian
Here we are.
kings.
This is our destinies of MOLIAE. Moments of love in ancient Egypt. His word of my purpose. With the love of God in me, I get praise. I raise too. Higher vibration is not about me. You see, it was given to me when I journeyed forward. For God forsake for me to be Jesus. Jesus. Know what's the best of thee? Here we are, here we are. MOLIAE Kismet, a renaissance destinies. Who we are, who we are. Princess Aamina, I am me. Buy no more, I got all the star. Gold mine, Imhotep, Hotel. You watch that step, back up next rap, no worries.